Hi, I'm Irving. You have just entered Cartertopia. For a change, we're not in D.C., and we're not in Berlin. As you can see, in 1942, the Diamond H Ranch encompassed the entire state of Texas. This situation continued for decades until the Bush family bought the state out from underneath them, whereupon the Diamond H went bankrupt and was never heard of again. At the ranch house, J.P. Hadley, the owner of the place, is teaching some kids about knots.
First, you form a loop like that, then you take this end of the rope through the hole, over the top, and back through, and you cinch it up real tight.
Is he running a summer camp? That's quite a group of kids he has there. Just then, someone comes riding up.
Dad! Rustlers! They hit us again.
Well, how many head this time?
Well, Rocky's still counting, but he figures at least 100 head.
Well, that does it.
He goes inside, calls the sheriff, and reams him good for not catching these cattle rustlers. He says, most of this beef goes to the military, so I'm calling an old friend in Washington for help. His name is General Blankenship. Hey, we know him too. What a coincidence.
Diamond Ace lost another 100 head of cattle last night. JP says he's calling Washington for some help.
Wait on, it's our job to catch them cattle rustlers. I mean, that's what we're getting paid for, isn't it?
He is so in with the rustlers, you can see it in his face.
We should go over to the Diamond H. Try and talk the old man out of doing that. What'd you say?
And the only reason he has to push for that is if he's in on it. That guy is dirtier than my dog after a trip to the park.
I've been hoping you'd get down this way so I could introduce you to my growing family.
Growing family? When did you remarry, JP?
I didn't. The family consists of my son Jeff plus 5 war orphans. We're now represented by the Navajo Nation, Harlem, Paris, London, and Shanghai.
The most amazing thing is they all speak fluent English, even the English kid.
It's really quite simple, sir. We scrape the area to minimize any possibility of a spark from our fire, igniting dried grass, paper, leaves, etc.
The general says, I'll send you someone to help. Guess who?
The war hero?
That's right. Major Trevor now heads up General Blankenship's intelligence team. Well, I better get out there and show those kids how to tie a few more knots.
Yeah.
That kid knows more than he's telling. JP needs to learn to pay attention to people's expressions.
Those rustlers could be dangerous.
You know what your trouble is?
What?
Too much work and not nearly enough play. I hereby order you to take a 3-day pass the minute I walk out that door. Understood?
Understood.
Why doesn't he just take her with him? He usually does.
I'll see you when I get back from Texas.
Yes, sir. See you in Texas, Major.
She changes right there in his office less than 10 seconds after he leaves and exits after him, and nobody notices a thing. Military intelligence.
Just a minute. We're 1 steak short.
Yeah, well, I ain't hungry.
What's the matter? Don't you feel good?
No, I'll be all right. You'd better get back to your new family.
Red flag, JP. Listen to what he just said. It goes right over his head. Big surprise, the deputy and his fellow deputy come driving in.
Hey, Walt! What's going on, Emmett?
That's Emmett, the real boss of the operation, although Walt seems to think he's in charge. Having Major Trevor coming to town is making Emmett nervous, but Walt won't back down.
We've got this one big delivery left to make, okay?
Cancel.
Now, whoa, wait a minute now. What do you mean cancel, Emmett? What are you talking about? You don't cancel the mob.
And they're in bed with the mob. Perfect.
Relax. Take it easy. We're just buying time. Look, in 24 hours we'll be out of business and a whole lot richer. If we can just keep this Major Steve Trevor off our backs long enough.
I can do that.
I got $10 says you can't. At breakfast the next morning, one of JP's kids is missing. Charlie Bright Eagle is out riding instead.
Texas Tower, this is Army 692, 5 miles east of you, requesting landing instructions, over.
Roger, 692. You are cleared for a straight-in approach.
Army 692, there appears to be an individual with no visible vehicle floating through the air following you. Please explain. Over. He lands, takes a Jeep, and follows the directions he was given to JP's ranch.
Jeep coming. He took the bait. Coming up the wrong road just as nice as you please. Let's give this Eastern dude a real Western-type welcome. Come on.
You know, killing a military man of his stature could bring the whole U.S. government down on your head. You might want to be careful, Emmett. I get the feeling they've used this trap before. They grab some levers and tip that big rock over on top of the hole. The idea is to leave him there for a day until they make their big score, then they can let somebody know where he is and he can get out. Charlie's kind of a special case. His mother died giving birth to him, so he and his dad were really close. His dad was JP's foreman until he was killed at Pearl Harbor. Since then, Charlie hasn't spoken a word and mainly keeps to himself. But he sees everything. Wonder Woman has also landed, but she's not smart enough to take a Jeep. She runs all the way to the ranch. Everybody's surprised that Steve hasn't arrived yet, and Wonder Woman is getting concerned. Being Wonder Woman, she manages to make an instant connection with Charlie.
Have you seen him? You have? Where? Can you take me to him?
I don't even have to describe the next part, you can picture it. She gives the credit for his rescue to Charlie.
Well, thank you, Charlie. Since when is Texas part of your territory?
Well, since I found out rustlers were trying to sabotage the war effort.
Since I found out you were going to Texas because you obviously can't take care of yourself.
I'm glad to have you here.
I'm glad to be here, Steve. Do you mind if I stay around and help?
Oh, not at all. I can use all the help I can get.
There's plenty of extra space in my room. Okay.
Yes, my bracelets do have the power to fend off bullets. But it's only because they're made of a very special metal.
She told JP she didn't have any luggage, but later she showed up with her cape and now she's got this outfit. Where does she keep all that?
Now, does anyone else have any questions to ask?
Yes. What about your magic belt? What is its secret?
Well, if I told you that, it wouldn't be a secret any longer, would it? What I can tell you is that it's my source of strength when I'm away from home.
She has got to stop telling people about that belt before she knows that some clown is going to yank it off of her again. You'd think she would have learned that by now since it's already happened 2 or 3 times. In the living room with Steve and JP, everybody agrees that this is an inside job. Somebody is tipping them off about when and where to strike. But who could it be? And who are these rustlers?
We've got a pretty good idea who the leader is. A fellow by the name of Emmett Dawson.
He was the local foul ball kid. Orphan, nobody to teach him better, and he went bad. And now he's in hiding and nobody can find him or their hideout. Now, there's this real western-looking ghost town a stone's throw from here that would be a perfect place, but there's no point in looking for him in a place like that. We get a nice scene where the other kids are upset with Charlie because he won't teach them how to lasso. That, of course, leads to some fun with Wonder Woman's lasso, and it's all filler. Let's get on with the plot.
I got some information for you.
Told you. And it's not hard to guess why he's doing it.
Let me tell you, what your daddy's doing to you is a whole lot worse. Yeah. Ignoring his own flesh and blood. spending all that time with those other kids? I mean, they are total strangers. I don't like to say this, but I don't think your daddy gives a hoot what happens to you.
There's a special place in you-know-where for guys like him. Jesus said if you mess with a child, it'd be better for you if you tied that huge rock you put over Steve Trevor around your neck and threw it into the ocean. And if you bring the rope, I'll help you. Sorry, stuff like that tends to get to me. His next assignment for Jeff is to find out where Wonder Woman gets her power. It shouldn't be difficult since she's done everything but take out an ad in the paper explaining it. Next day, Steve is asking about the sheriff and his deputies. The sheriff has been around forever, but Walt is fairly new. He had loads of testimonial letters and seems to know his job. Steve says, I'm going to run to the military base and call for an FBI check on him. Jeff suddenly needs to be somewhere else.
I tried to reach Walt Lampkin, but he's in court and can't be disturbed.
So?
Scheme a message. Tell him that Major Trevor's on his way to the air base and that he's going to run an FBI check on him.
When did Trevor leave for the base?
About 15 minutes ago by Jeep. I gotta go.
Jeff, Wonder Woman, and JP head out for a trail ride to check things out. After a bit, they stop to water the horses.
Snake! Whoa, horse! Whoa!
She catches up and saves Jeff. He comes away with a badly sprained ankle. JP and Jeff head back to the ranch while Wonder Woman stays to look around some more. You're using a 1 horsepower conveyance in a 50 horsepower minimum zone. I'm going to have to write you a ticket.
Come on, come and get it. Put her in the car. Just like you said, Walt, without her magic belt, she's just another woman.
Told you. At least put a zipper on that thing so it's a little harder to get off you. As I said, Charlie sees everything. And I do mean everything. They put her in an old jail cell in the ghost town. He saw that. He also saw that Brilliance Incorporated didn't take the belt with him, he just threw it aside. Steve has gotten the information he was after, and he's on his way back to the ranch. Sorry, sir, this is a no open-top vehicle zone. I'm going to have to write you a ticket.
Begging your pardon. Would you all mind telling us how come you didn't stop back there when you were signaled, sir?
Instinct. I got a hunch you know where I've been.
And I've got a hunch that you were right.
You're a phony, Lampkin. The real Walter Lampkin died a hero's death in the South Pacific. You must have adopted his identity, stolen his letters of recommendation, and set up shop here.
Unfortunately, they have guns and he doesn't. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, I've always wanted to say that.
Come. Charles, you spoke. Wonder Woman is our friend. She needs our help.
Where's Babette? Don't forget her. They left her behind. I'll have more to say about that later. The boys grab a log to use as a battering ram, knock the door in, and give Wonder Woman her belt. They're rewarded with this. I think they like their reward. Too bad Babette didn't get to see it too. Jeff is appalled at what the men did to Wonder Woman.
You know what I don't understand is why he tipped his hand, or even how he knew about me being here.
Dad? There's something I gotta tell you.
Wonder Woman saved his life. It's time to come clean. JP says, why?
It had to do with Charlie, Freddie, and the other kids. Before they came, it was always you and me.
Well, why didn't you say something? I mean, tipping those rustlers just to get even with me doesn't make sense.
I didn't do it to get even. Lampkin, he said you didn't care about me. But he did care. He took an interest in me.
JP realizes this is as much his fault as it is Jeff's, because a cunning man took advantage of a vulnerable young boy and manipulated him, and he didn't notice. They reconcile, Wonder Woman makes an appropriate speech, and now it's time to go after those rustlers.
Did Lampkin know that Steve was on his way to the air base and why? We've got to get to them.
We don't know where to look.
Well, Lampkin always knows where you can find Dawson. Why don't you try their hideout? It's that old ghost town due east of here.
Wonder Woman was just there. I would think it might occur to her that they'll lock Steve up in the same place they put her in.
Here we go, big fella. You want some room service, you ring for it, okay? In the freezer, big fella.
Except they didn't. They put him in the meat locker. Never mind. Wonder Woman and the boys, again, just the boys, where's Babette, sneak up on the guys guarding the hideout. Before she can find Steve, he gets the door open using the world's biggest shrimp fork. JP just arrived, so it's 3-on-3.
What's going on? Hey, whoa.
In the epilogue, Charlie thinks he and Wonder Woman won't be friends anymore because she's leaving. She reassures him, and then he has a gift for her.
Here, I made this for you so you'll always remember me.
Oh. Charlie, I'll never forget you. I promise. It's beautiful. And it fits.
And if you wear it over your magic belt, it'll make it harder for everybody and his dog to pull it off of you. Charlie has one more request.
Would you teach me how to lasso with the real rope? Being a Navajo Indian carrying a rope is embarrassing.
Now we know why he won't teach the other kids. She'll delay her departure by a few hours so she can teach him to lasso. We are nothing if not flexible. What's the name of this show again? Oh, right, Wonder Woman. Part of the idea is to promote women. So why would you include a girl among the war orphans and then give her nothing to do? Babette was window dressing, nothing more. Maybe her name should have been Quota because they had to have at least one girl. At the very least, she should have been with the other kids to rescue Wonder Woman. And I find it hard to believe that wasn't deliberate. The girl stays at the ranch in her nice dress with the housekeeper doing housekeeper stuff while the boys go off and save the day. And the whole point of the show goes down the crapper. Okay, I'm over that rant. This was a nice change of pace from the Nazis and the international skullduggery, even though the kid who played Jeff was, how shall I put it, terrible. But the rest of the performances balanced him out, and it was very nice to see Henry Darrow again. He may have been Walter Lampkin here, but he'll always be Manolito Montoya to me. First person to identify that character in the comments gets a shout out in the next episode. I'm Irving, and you are now exiting Cartertopia.